Well, I was going to do a video about this Rodime Systems external SCSI drive for the Macintosh Plus, but sorry, my voice has gone today for some reason. I do not have a connector for it. Happens to be the one kind of cable that I don't even have a converter for. But the seller said I could have one for the cost of £20. But yeah, I should have one soon. But you can hear it roar to life, if you wish, in all of its SCSI glory. Back when hard drives used to sound so awesome. Anyway, that's my current external drive, which has also been changed from used to be a Seagate in there. It's now a Western Digital something or other, and that Seagate is now in a PVR somewhere. So yeah, and it used to be in this USB only chassis from Buffalo. Just got the screws in there, but yeah, so I changed that over. And this is the subject of this video. From the outside, this looks like a 2001 mesh computer. That's because it was, but it isn't anymore. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is my dad's second computer that he had, and it wasn't a cheapo supermarket kind of brand. Mesh, I'm not sure if they're still going, but they made the big boys of computers back in the early 2000s. This is from 2001. I think, there's the XP Home Edition. It is a very big computer. I mean, look, it's even bigger than my current computer. It's a massive, massive chassis. The original computer, the CPU had died, and when it died, I already had a better computer. I think it was a dual core or something. So I really wasn't bothered to keep it. I regret that now because I could have got a new CPU in there. But it was a decent computer when it was back the original. Instead of a BIOS beep, it actually had a American female voice. And it said something along the lines of system completed, power on self-test, computer now booting from operating system. I'm not making that up. I'm not sure what brand of BIOS it was, but I've come across a few computers that have a voice instead of a beep, and it's pretty cool. Well, if you don't have speakers, you won't get a BIOS beep. This is a very nicely designed case as well. That is very heavy. You can see it's all quick release stuff. There's no screws. Well, you have to fit the quick release mechanisms into it. So if I can take the hard drive out here. Oops, there we go. See, it just pops out like that. This is a 80 gigabyte, I believe. Oops, there you go. I think it's an 80. Yeah, and it's the loudest hard drive I have ever had. Or loudest SCSI hard drive I've ever had. Oh no, the bloody SATA has come out. Oh dear. Let me pop that back in. That was my own silly fault. Hopefully I haven't damaged anything. Deary, deary me. Which one did it go in? I can't remember. No. Doesn't really matter, there's only one drive anyway, but it would be nice to have the correct one. I'm not even putting it in the right way. Oh. Sometimes I wonder how I can do computers. This motherboard is tiny because it's from a different computer. Again, the only thing from the original computer is this bottom disk drive, which I haven't even got hooked up. This disk drive is broken, and that is the only 1x burner I have, and it has bad sectors, and it fails to burn, which is really, really irritating because I need to burn stuff at 1x for stuff like the Amiga CD32. because I don't want to pay 60 quid for a 30-year-old game, or 20-year-old game, sorry. So that is a shame. If you know of any place I can actually buy a 1x disk drive from, please let me know. But it does read okay, and it's the first burn we ever got. It was from 2001. In fact, I think this was in the original computer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, but it got taken out and used in so many different systems that I've actually just forgotten. So yeah, both these drives are original, but they've been taken out many times. Of course, the old IDE on the disk drives and SATA on the hard drive. And it's got a huge cooling fan. I'm surprised, especially for such a small processor. And of course a micro switch for the case, but this motherboard does not support it. And I have not yet bothered to hook up the power LEDs and the hard drive LEDs and the reset switch. Yeah, because my patience has worn thin for such things. Although, is that a no? Fuck it. Not bothering with the speaker either. Just the power button on the front. So I've got to turn this. That's my PS4, by the way. In terms of gaming, I have to say I'm a fan of the Sony and PC. Don't really like Microsoft, because Sony have always been pretty good with me. Never had many problems. No backward support on the PS4 though, so I still have to use my PlayStation 3 to play PS3 games. Bit annoying. But anyway, let's put this case back on and see if that hard drive still works. I hope I haven't broken it. Alright. Now it's a very slow computer for now anyway. Even the original board was is now considered to be junk. I mean, it's just bad spec. But it was over £1,000 back in 2001. And hopefully, if you hear the hard drive, you'll definitely know because it's really loud. There it goes. Booting up into Linux Mint 10. I am not silly enough to still run Windows XP. I hate Windows XP so much. I'll turn my light off here. Oh my god, there's a storm brewing out there. That is a very loud hard drive. And it's a new drive as well. It's not too terribly old. It's 2005. I mean, for a hard drive, that's not too old. You know, only 80 gigabytes, but for what I'm using this computer for, more than enough. I'm just using it as some form of network storage when I need it. Floppy drive, I haven't put one in yet. I don't think this board supports it. But here we go anyway. This is Linux Mint, by the way. It's one of my favourite Linux distros. And I'm not sure... No, where is it? Name computer... I've forgotten how you get the version up. Is it like something like... What? That is a cool terminal. So like V... Oh, I think there's something else. I might be thinking of something completely different here. No. I am thinking of something different. Oh well. So we can browse the internet. But I haven't got... the speakers are hooked up, but I cannot get the sound to work. I can only get it to work through USB audio devices, and I don't have many of those. Disk drive 1 and disk drive 2 is not hooked up. But it's a very nice disk drive. It's a Mitsumi something, I think. I cannot remember the model name. and that's a bit worrying because I only looked at it last week. It's fun with this because if you don't have a floppy drive in there, you'll just see when they you can say to someone, hey, put a floppy disk in there, and it'll just fall to the bottom of the case and they'll think they've broken it. Pretty funny. But that's my sad life. What shall we try and run? I'm trying to think of a way. Alright. And there you go. We are now essentially browsing YouTube with 2005 technology. So that's fitting because that is when YouTube first launched. In fact, let's see if we can watch the first ever video. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't want that one. Come on, damn you. There you go, the first YouTube video. And you can see it runs like crap. Here's a very old processor. Stands home. Right, enough of the software now. Let's go back to the stuff that we like. Shutting down. Beep. And I shall now switch off the power. So this, right here, not this, was the computer that I completely gutted to put in the chassis of the Mesh. Now, why did I do that? Because there wasn't enough room in the small case for the peripherals, well, not peripherals, but devices that I wanted. And this was the chassis for the hard drive. I have never known anything like it. It goes up vertically that way, I think, no. Yeah, that way-ish. And the hard drive is mounted vertically. Very, very weird. And, excuse me a second. It's gonna... No, this case is not easy to open. As you can see, someone has spilt coffee down this before. There you go. Yeah, don't spill coffee on your computers, it's not good for them. This was all the stuff that I took out of the Mesh that I still wanted to keep. The motherboard has been thrown to the trash now, because it's crap. This is a very, very dirty IDE cable. I mean, my hands feel weird now. Don't know what happened there. That is, I believe, a modem card, data and fax modem. Don't know why I kept that, but I like these old bits of memorabilia from the days of dial-up. We didn't get broadband until about 2004 or 3, so I can still strongly remember sitting there waiting about half an hour for Google to appear. Yeah, another IDE cable. Very... and a COM port. Police. God, they found me. Anyway, what else do we have? Oh, the back panel. That is from, yeah, that's from the Mesh. You can see what ports it used to have though. It had the USB, obviously, speaker, SPDIF, and all that other shit. And I do not know what half this other stuff is. I also upgraded the memory. Well, I doubled the memory. It did have 4 of these, making up 1 gigabyte. Yes, a 1 gigabyte memory would have been in a £1,000 computer back in 2001. I mean, this was insane compared to the computer that I had at the time when I was about 6 or 7. In fact, I have a photo of me when I was 6 or 7, with my first computer. Here it is. Yeah, playing the Tweenies game. And yeah, so I was always extremely envious. But then my dad gave this to... Oh, I got a new computer. That was it. Can't remember what one it was. It was a dual core, I think, the one that my dad has now. And then this was kind of discarded, really, and I just sort of permanently borrowed it. It's funny because I'm moving away from dual core and my dad is just going into it from the computer that I used to own. Okay, yeah, this is my current computer anyway. The eSATA port doesn't work. Don't know why. And Blu-ray and everything else. But it's this older computer is quite considerably larger, as you can see there by the height. In fact, we can compare. Well, not by much actually, but there you go. It's yeah, it is like that. They look like a couple. Oops, I didn't mean to freaking pull my... whatever. Anyway, well, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this weird Franken monster of a computer.